Hey everyone, it's Terry over at Decorate and More with Tip. Welcome back to Craft with Us. Not for sure if you saw my blog yesterday of my spring table, my Easter table in my kitchen. I'm going to share with you how I made that little basket that I place on the place setting. I am using just a paper cup and a few items that I grabbed here from home. First thing I want to do is cut my cup to the size that I want. And I am cutting the first star layer is all I need. And it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. And this particular cup has the two edges that meets, and it's a little bit thicker, so my crafting knife won't work. So I'm just going to use a pair of regular scissors. That's all I need, is just this little bit of cup, and that's just for the bottom of the basket. So I have my bottom of my basket now. So now I need to cut little 1/2-inch strips out of my paper. So what I did is I took my scrapbooking paper, my ruler, and I measured all the way across 1/2 inch. And then I measured down 3.5 inches and made a little mark. And then I went down another 3.5 inch and made a mark. And then I took the bottom of the page and I went all the way across 1/2 inch. So then I made my marks. I cut my strips. When I took my corkscrew craft scissors and I cut the strips out by following the lines. And I think I made like 42 strips. So I have all of my pieces of paper cut. And now what I'm going to do is I'm making little loops. So I'm taking my hot glue gun and I am taking a little bit of glue to the end, folding the two edges over to where it makes little loops. So I just hot glued the loop. And then what I did is I took the two ends and I bent them down just where the hot glue was. So I bend that down. I put little hot glue drop on the end, and then I glued that to the bottom of my cup, to the bottom edge. We're going to get 3 layers of these loops. And I am getting as close as I can. I'm not overlapping, but I'm getting as close as I can to the first loop, and then as close as the edge of the bottom as I can. And that covers up my blue cup. Okay, so I have 13 of my loops on the bottom of my cup. And the reason why I bent it is so I have a flat surface to glue to my cup. Now I'm going to go to the next layer, and what I'm going to do on that layer is I am going to the center of 2 of the loops and start my row that way. So I have 2 loops here. I'm starting the second row in the center of those 2. I'm going to work all the way around until I finish the second layer. Now that I have my second layer of paper loops, I'm going to start with the third layer, which will be at the top here. And I'm going to try to get close to the top edge as I can. So we're going to hide the edge. If you use a ribbon, make sure you get a 1/2 inch ribbon if you want one the size of mine. A 1/2 inch ribbon and cut it at 3.5 inches. And then just hot glue the 2 edges, just like what I'm doing with the paper. I did have a bunch of pink ribbon, and I was going to use that, but I gave it all to Kristen for the baby's birthday. So I have no pink ribbon whatsoever in my ribbon stash, and I didn't want to go out and buy it because I have tons of pink ribbon. So I thought, well, I'll make a paper one. Now, I am not the brains behind this, this look. I saw this a long time ago on Pinterest, and I can't find I can't find it. I thought I pinned it a long time ago, but I guess I didn't. So, but I remember what it looked like. She used ribbon and she used a basket. And I don't have 4 little bitty baskets that I can use at this size. So I thought, what can I make to resemble her basket? And this is what I came up with. So I think this is really cute. So I'm just using a little bit of glue, folding the ends together, then I bend it, and then I hot glue it again, and then I just apply it to the cup. So I'm going to get this last layer done, and then we'll go to the next step. So I only used 41. I'm doing my last one. Why it's different? I would just cut 42 and see how much you use. If you have a bigger cup, you might use more. But I started out with 42, and this one took me 41 little loops. All right, got my loops all together. Is that not cute? It's so cute. All right, now we're gonna make the little handle. Now I don't have any handles to use, so I am going to use a stem. I'm going to take the flower off and the leaves, and I'm using the stem only, and I'm going to put this back here with all my stash here. And what I'm going to do with this, you want to cut yours at least 9 inches, and then you're going to take 3 long pieces of raffia and get them all even in your hand. All the ends need to be even. So I got 3 pieces of raffia here. I'm going to glue. I'm going to put my little, because I burned my finger. So I'm going to put my little, and I got these at the Dollar Tree. And I am going to glue the 3 ends together to make them as one. So I have them there. Then I'm going to start adding glue to the end of the raffia and wrapping it around my stem of my flower here. So now I have the raffia glued to the end of the stem, and I can't work with these things. But anyway, I just apply a little bit of hot glue along the stem, and I am going to wrap my raffia around the stem and making sure it's all covered nicely. So I just made it really tight around the stem. I'm going to glue some more. Wrapping it around. I'm not even being neat. I'm just wrapping it around, making sure I don't see any green of the stem. Doing it again, all the way to the bottom. I'm cutting the raffia at the end of my stem, cutting it off, and then I'm going to apply a little bit of glue so it doesn't unravel. Wait until it gets good and cool before you start trying to pinch it. All right, so I have my raffia stick here now, and I'm going to shape it into a handle for my basket. How cute! So before I glue it to my cup there, I want to take the 3 pieces of leftover raffia, and I'm going to make knots on my handle. So I am taking the raffia, gluing at one end of the raffia, and just randomly putting it on my handle. And I glued it onto my handle, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to form a knot on the handle. Why? I don't know. Hers had it, and I just thought it looked neat. So this is how I am making it. And just get it to the size you want. I'm going to use all of that piece. And I'm going to hot glue it to the handle. And cut just the end that didn't. So we have just a little knot. And I'm going to do the same on the other three pieces. And like I said, I'm just putting it randomly on my basket handle. It doesn't have to be a certain way. Gluing that. And I want that to be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to glue another piece to it, just to make that knot a little bit bigger. Hot glue it on so it's secure. And then cut the ends so I have one here and I have one here, and I'm going to do one more. And cut that piece. So now we have 3 little knots, and we're going to glue the ends to the basket. And place it inside the basket until it sets. I'm going to put more glue so it's really good and sturdy. The handle is so cute. So now what I want to do is I want to add a little bit of this crepe paper grass. And I'm going to place it inside. Just scattered it inside. And then I'm going to add a little bit of treats to my basket. I am adding this cookie rabbit, taking it out of the box and placing it in front here. And then I am going to add 2 chocolate foiled eggs in front of the little Easter bunny. And then I found these little candy bars at the Dollar Tree, and they have an Easter wrapping. And I'm just going to put this behind the Easter bunny. That's what I'm going to place on every plate of my place setting. That's how I made my little basket. I think it is so cute. And you can change this up to any color. You can use ribbon or you can use paper. And you can make this larger, just whatever you want to do. It's so easy. I love how this turned out. And like I said, we don't sit around that table daily. It is just more for looks. Me and my husband sit at the breakfast bar, and that's where we have our meals. So I just decorate our table just for fun. I will probably put these bunnies in a bag and give them to some family that eat candy. We're trying not to eat it here. Want to go check out the full blog on how my table is set? You can go check it out. It was yesterday's post, but it is still up there. So thank you for joining me. Make sure you go over to all my social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube, and start following me on those. I would really, really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great day, and God bless.